In the maelstrom of the Great War, amidst the thunder and the mud, a different kind of soldier emerged. They carried no rifle, fired no shot. Their uniform was often indistinguishable, save for one crucial emblem. They were the Red Cross men, the stretcher bearers, and their mission was to snatch life from the jaws of death. They operated in teams of 4, a necessity for the grim task ahead. Their primary tool, the Mark II folding stretcher, a heavy canvas and wood contraption designed for stability, if not comfort. Their bags held rudimentary but vital medical supplies, large pads of gauze for severe wounds, bandages to staunch bleeding, and a precious canteen, often water, sometimes a drop of rum to numb the agony. Their medical knowledge was basic, born of dire necessity. They weren't doctors, they were masters of the essential ABCs, stopping hemorrhages with tourniquets, improvising splints for shattered limbs, and applying antiseptic, like iodine, to combat the ever-present threat of gas gangrene, a silent, horrific killer in the trenches. Leaving the relative safety of the parapet or navigating the treacherous final yards to a fallen comrade was a true act of courage. They stepped into a landscape utterly ravaged, often under direct observation from the enemy. The terrain itself was an enemy, knee-deep porridge mud that stole boots and threatened to trap them. Shell craters, hidden and often filled with toxic water, waited to swallow a misplaced foot. And the ubiquitous barbed wire, a lethal obstacle course even for the unencumbered. A dead weight casualty, a man perhaps unconscious or too weak to help himself, was a monumental challenge. The slightest slip, a moment of imbalance, and the wounded soldier could be dumped into the filthy mud, risking further injury, infection, or simply exacerbating their agony.
Having narrowly cheated death by a sniper's bullet or the jagged iron of an artillery shell, the men scramble back into the relative safety of their own lines. Shaken and breathless, their singular focus is the regimental aid post, the first true sanctuary where the adrenaline of survival might finally fade. But standing in their way is a claustrophobic nightmare of zigzagging communication trenches, choked with a slow-moving tide of reinforcements and heavy supplies. Though the aid post sits a mere few hundred yards distant, the struggle through this human bottleneck makes the journey feel like a march of 1,000 miles.
Upon arrival at the regimental aid post, their immediate task was complete. The medical officer would take over, beginning the agonizing process of triage. The bearers would briefly recount the history of the wound, where he fell, what they did, providing crucial context for the MO to decide who could be saved and who, tragically, was beyond help.
Though the men were exhausted, they knew those still lying in no man's land had no other hope. Steeling themselves, they went back out to begin the process once more. An act of incredible bravery, often overlooked in the history of the Great War.
Okay, lads. Let's get back out there.
No rifle bore their heavy weight across the shell-torn clay. They walked into the arms of fate to pull the dying away. 4 men, 1 soul, a wooden frame, through iron rain and knee-deep red. With no desire for sudden fame, they stood among the dead.